Your friend is sitting across from you, listing every cruel thing your ex ever did. They're speaking calmly, running down the timeline with exact dates. You feel a sudden heat behind your eyes. Your jaw tightens. And before you can stop yourself, you hear your own voice explaining their side of the story. You soften the facts. You say, they had a really hard childhood. You don't know everything that happened. For a long time, you probably assumed this meant something embarrassing about you, that you lacked willpower, that you hadn't learned your lesson, that love had quietly eaten the part of your brain that was supposed to keep you safe. There is a specific mechanics to this reaction. This reflex bypasses your logic and your memory of the events, operating under a set of rules that have nothing to do with how much you like the person you are defending. To understand why you are still protecting someone who hurt you, we have to look at the specific wiring your nervous system built when leaving that relationship did not feel safe. Look at how your brain handles patterns. A reward delivered on a steady schedule, like kindness every single Tuesday, is incredibly easy to predict. If that Tuesday kindness disappears for a month, you adjust. You stop expecting it, and you walk away without losing sleep. Now make the kindness random. It arrives sometimes after cruelty, sometimes before it, sometimes for no reason at all. You can never tell when it's coming, so you cannot stop waiting. Every minor act of warmth feels significant because you have been holding your breath for it. In psychology, this pattern is called variable ratio reinforcement. It produces the most resistant, compulsive behavior scientists have ever measured. Rats trained on this exact schedule will press the lever long after the food has stopped appearing. They will push it until complete exhaustion. This chart shows the results of a 1993 study by psychologists Dutton and Painter. It plots the attachment levels of 75 women who had left abusive relationships, measured a full 6 months after they got out. The data revealed something counterintuitive. The strength of the remaining bond was not predicted by how often the cruelty happened. Instead, the unpredictability of the abuse, combined with a power differential, accounted for 55% of the variance in the bond. Steady cruelty is something the brain eventually flees, but unpredictable cruelty, followed by a sliver of tenderness, traps the brain in a dopamine loop. Take the cruelty away, and the tenderness is ordinary. Leave it in, and the tenderness becomes a drug. This neurochemistry requires a specific environment to take hold. Imagine a scenario where the person causing you harm is also the person you depend on for rent, for groceries, or for your entire social circle. Psychologist Jennifer Freyd calls this betrayal trauma. When you are materially or socially dependent, your mind faces an impossible problem. To stay alive, you must remain attached. But to remain attached, you cannot fully acknowledge what is happening. So your brain edits the incoming data. It does not delete the events. You can still remember the argument perfectly. Instead, it edits the meaning of the events. It tells you, he was just tired, or she was stressed from work. This is betrayal blindness. It is a small, calculating system that ran the numbers, looked at the lack of exits, and decided that incomplete knowing was physically safer than complete knowing. Now add the sheer weight of time. 5 years inside a relationship means sharing the holidays, a signed lease, maybe a wedding, maybe a child. It is a significant investment of your own life. To look back at all of that and admit out loud that most of it was harmful requires declaring a 5-year accounting error against yourself. The human mind hates doing this. Cognitive dissonance ensures that we will often distort our own reality rather than accept that years of our choices led nowhere good. Because of that friction, rare positive moments, the birthday they remembered, the time they drove you to the hospital, stop being mere moments. The brain transforms them into evidence. Evidence that the years were not wasted, and evidence that you, the one who stayed, were not a fool. This is why outside opinions bounce right off you. When you argue with a friend about your ex, you are not really defending the person who hurt you. You are defending the ledger of your own life, trying to prove you didn't invest in a deficit. You can know all of this intellectually. You can read the books and go to therapy. And still, you might smell a familiar cologne in a hallway or hear the right song play in a grocery store and feel a sudden wave of longing in your chest. This happens because of implicit memory. The body operates on a slower timeline than the conscious mind. Your reasoning brain can process the truth in a week, but your bonded nervous system takes much longer to catch up. They were never designed to be synced. That longing in the coffee shop is not evidence that you were wrong to leave. It is just an older, slower internal system receiving signals from a world that no longer exists. Sociologist Evan Stark mapped out the concept of coercive control. He found that the end state of these relationships functions as a condition of entrapment. It is a hostage-like scenario where autonomy and freedom of movement have been meticulously narrowed until leaving is a calculated risk. If you continue to label your survival reflexes as love or weakness, you may spend years trying to disprove the bad behavior or trying to punish yourself into clarity. Neither of those projects works. To unwire the circuit, you have to give your nervous system tangible proof that the danger is gone. You do this slowly by actively rebuilding the pieces of your life that the relationship narrowed: the independent income, the safe home, the friends you call at midnight. The next time you hear yourself defending them, you don't have to fight it. You can listen to that defense the exact same way you would listen to an old, faithful dog still barking at a threat that has already left the yard. That defensive reflex is a veteran. It was the last thing keeping you safe in a place that needed you defenseless. Let it bark. Eventually, when the body truly believes the door is closed,